Have you ever questioned why quantum physics appears to operate effectively for everyone else, yet seems to bypass you? Why, even after believing, studying, and executing every step correctly, does the universe remain silent, precisely when you are the one making the request? The truth is, quantum physics is operational at this very instant. It simply is not functioning in the manner you desired. This is because the field does not respond to your thoughts. It replicates the pattern you consistently emit vibrationally. The issue is not a deficiency of faith. It is noise. A subtle interference occurring between what your mind asserts and what your body continues to harbor apprehension toward. And as long as this conflict persists between thought and emotion, the field becomes incoherent and accurately reflects that fear with mathematical precision. But what if the secret lies not in believing more forcefully, but rather in feeling more profoundly? And what if the genuine power to manifest is rooted not in mere articulation, but in the coherence established between the mind, heart, and breath? Before we can grasp why the universe has yet to respond in the manner you anticipated, we must return to the foundational point where all begins, the invisible nexus where thought interfaces with the body, and where the body, often unconsciously, generates reality. Consider this. When you state, "I want to prosper," the field does not register the declarative statement. It senses the underlying emotion concealed beneath it. If the actual feeling is the fear of failure, then it is that fear which the field translates into reality. The field is neither moralistic, spiritualistic, nor selective. It is merely a quantum mirror replicating the most stable pattern you are emitting. And, crucially, the most stable pattern is almost always generated by what you feel, rather than what you articulate. Consequently, the universe responds not to your peak moments of declared faith, but to your average vibrational state. That underlying resonance you embody in the unguarded moments when you cease to be consciously focused. If an internal voice still whispers, "This will not materialize," it is that very voice which causes the field to collapse before your conscious intention can take hold. Thus, before concluding that quantum physics fails specifically for you, pose this question to yourself. What residual element within me refuses to believe in the possibility of receiving? Because the field never truly says no. It merely replicates, with rigorous mathematical fidelity, the signal you are subconsciously transmitting. You have been taught that the observer creates reality. However, no one informed you that between the thought and the eventual collapse, there exists an invisible territory: the body. The mind may affirm, "I believe," yet the body at times is still signaling, "I fear." And it is the body that holds the strongest voice in the quantum field. While you consciously visualize abundance, your nervous system, still tethered to deeply ingrained memories of scarcity, transmits survival signals. The field captures this, and because physics operates with exactitude, it reflects that dominant pattern. It is inconsequential how frequently you articulate positive affirmations. If the biological foundation resonates with insecurity, the universe interprets insecurity as your true default state. This is the law no one ever told you. Coherence is the language of the universe. It is not the isolated thought that creates, but the alignment among mind, emotion, and body. Most attempt to manifest through mental effort, but the field responds to vibrational harmony. Your body acts as the antenna. Your heart is the transmitter. And thought merely dictates the signal's direction. This is why life sometimes seems to ignore your requests. It does not ignore them. It simply responds with mathematical precision to what you repeat most often, consciously or otherwise. What you term a delay is the field awaiting coherence. The universe does not move based on what you desire, but on what you sustain with emotional equilibrium. And as long as there is friction between wanting and feeling, the wave function collapse does not occur. When thought and body finally speak the same language, the field has no choice. It responds instantaneously, because coherence is the true prayer. The universe comprehends. What truly prevents quantum physics from operating in your life is not a lack of faith. It is noise, a type of energetic interference that occurs every time your body senses one thing and your mind asserts another. In neuroscience, we term this cardiac incoherence. When the brain and heart cease communicating in the same idiom, the thought says, "I trust," yet the pulse races, the breath catches, the stomach clenches. This minute friction is sufficient for the field to receive two disparate messages, and when two frequencies compete, the universe selects the most stable one, fear. This noise is not visible, yet it is audible to the field. It sounds like a poorly tuned radio. You intend to hear music, but all that emerges is static. This is why many people experience near manifestations, relationships that almost succeed, opportunities that nearly materialize, signs that almost corroborate. The field is attempting to respond, but the message arrives distorted. The good news is that this noise can be purged, not through greater effort, but through silence. Coherence emerges when the heart decelerates the brain, when you breathe deeply and allow the body to feel secure enough to embrace what the mind desires. It is not magic, it is physics applied to biology. The universe is an acoustic mirror. It reflects the clearest sound you emit. And sometimes, that sound is not a word. It is the interstitial space between one thought and the next, where the vibration finally becomes pure. In that space, the noise ceases, and the field listens. A point arrives when you must unlearn everything you have been told about manifestation. Because, more often than not, what they term manifestation is merely a disguised form of control. You attempt to imagine, repeat affirmations, visualize outcomes, but you do it all with bated breath and your body on high alert, like someone fearing that if they pause for a second, everything will crumble. And it is precisely this struggle that causes the field to shut down. Quantum physics does not respond to effort, but to harmony. The universe does not comprehend struggle. It comprehends rhythm. Unlearning is allowing silence to assume the directive. It is recognizing that the field requires no forcing, only spaciousness. When you cease trying to make things happen, the universe finally gains the room to maneuver. It is as if your control were a cloud obscuring the light. The intention is present, yet it cannot penetrate. The ego labels this weakness, but the field terms it openness. Quantum physics is not a competition of affirmations. It is a choreography of resonance. And that choreography commences when you release your grip. Breathing in is collapsing the wave. Exhaling is realigning the field. The universe does not require you to strive. It requires you to recollect. For the act of trusting is not passivity. It is the precise juncture where energy ceases resistance and begins to flow. Reality does not transform when you exert force. It transforms when you surrender to the organic movement that has always been striving to unfold. Now that you comprehend the invisible mechanism that prompts the field's response, it is time to assay the power of coherence. Not through theoretical frameworks, but through practical application. Over the next 72 hours, you will implement the realignment protocol, a straightforward congruence that reconnects mind, body, and field. It demands no exertion, merely presence. Step 1. The somatic recalibration. Today, locate 5 minutes of absolute silence. Sit with your spine erect and close your eyes. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. This pattern instructs your nervous system that you are secure. Once the body apprehends security, it relinquishes control. And when control ceases, the field answers. Step 2. The memory of the future. Tomorrow, select a small desire and treat it as a memory, not an objective. Instead of imagining, one day this will transpire, state, "This has already occurred. I recall it." Memory is more potent than mere visualization because it carries the code of certitude. Feel the body's reaction. If relaxation ensues, the collapse has commenced. Step 3. The breath of trust. On the 3rd day, something will invariably challenge you. A delay, a miscommunication, an impediment. When this happens, do not react. Inhale and state, "Field adjusting." This utterance interrupts the momentum of the old observer and activates the new one. If you maintain neutrality, the field will reorganize everything in silence. Within 72 hours, observe 2 signals. An unlikely